Hello besties, welcome back to my channel. I hope you are all doing great, and you already know from the title, I am so happy to be able to film this video today. You know that I love these books so much. They have a special place in my heart, and I love them with all my heart and soul. And since House of Flame and Shadow just got released very recently, I thought this is the perfect timing to make this video, because every time I review an SJM book for you, or like I mention it in my TBR, I always mention briefly the order in which you should read the books, in my opinion, but I don't say why, or I don't go into details about it, because it's like a TBR video or a wrap-up video. So I decided I wanted to dedicate a video for this, just to guide you through, if you want to start reading her books, how I read them and why I chose to read them in that order, and of course without any spoilers. So yeah, let's get right into it. So there are 3 series in the Maasverse: Throne of Glass, ACOTAR, A Court of Thorns and Roses, and CC, which is Crescent City. In my opinion, the first series that you should start with is A Court of Thorns and Roses. This series has 5 books, and why I think you should start reading this series, because this is just so easy to get into. The world builds up little by little as you progress in the series, and the gripping romance from the beginning will get you hooked. And also it is only 5 books long, so it's not that big of a commitment, not like the Throne of Glass 8 books long series. And for this series there is no debate on how to read them. You start with ACOTAR and progress as the box set shows: A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of Mist and Fury, A Court of Wings and Ruin, A Court of Frost and Starlight, and A Court of Silver Flames. Once you finish these beauties, I guarantee you will be hooked. I mean, you will already be hooked from the second book in the series, but now you are ready for the bigger commitment to read Throne of Glass, because you already know that the adventure that is waiting for you is going to be so epic. So let me put this down and bring Throne of Glass. And a big reason why I recommend to read this, Throne of Glass, after ACOTAR is that in ACOTAR we mostly follow Feyre's POV. She's the main protagonist, but in Throne of Glass, the first and second books are mostly from Celaena's POV, but as you progress and the cast of characters grows, we are going to have more and more chapters from various POVs, and that follow different plot lines in different areas in the world. And I completely understand that this can be a little overwhelming for someone who is starting to get into fantasy, and that is exactly why I recommend to read ACOTAR first. It is just so much easier to follow. With that being said, that is exactly what makes Throne of Glass one of the top favorites for me and for a lot of SJM readers. This world is just so rich and vast that you will feel submerged by it, and you will love every single moment of it. Okay, now to mention the order of these. There is a big debate going on about where to read or when you should read this one. The Assassin's Blade in the series, which is a collection. This book is not a novel. This is a collection of 5 short stories. And some people say it should be read third after Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight. This is the first book, this is the second book. So some people say this should be third. You read it after you read these 2. And other people, me included, we strongly believe that you should read this at the beginning of the series. You should start with this. Read it as a prequel. For me, there is no question there. This is the first book in the Throne of Glass series, and I will die on this hill. Hear me out. If you start Throne of Glass by reading Throne of Glass, you will not get Celaena's motivation, because she's so secretive, and you will not see her being a badass assassin, and you will just hear of her. And if you are like me and you don't enjoy the telling more than showing, for example, when the author says this person is ruthless, I want to see it in action. I want to see what makes this person ruthless. You can't just say that and expect me to believe that and build on it. When you read The Assassin's Blade, you will see Selena in action and you will understand her character better. You will fall in love with her character and you will know her heart. And that, my beautiful besties, will make you go through Throne of Glass, because Throne of Glass is not the strongest book in the series. And then once you've read The Assassin's Blade, Throne of Glass, Crown of Midnight, I put them back here. This is a lot. Then you read Heir of Fire and then Queen of Shadows, and then you will be faced with another choice. You can choose to continue reading in the order of the series, Empire of Storms and then Tower of Dawn, or you do the tandem read, which is what most people choose to do, and I also did it that way, and I enjoyed both books so much with this method, and I will explain why. To put it simply, Empire of Storms end on the most painful cliffhanger in the history of painful cliffhangers ever. So to make yourself go through all of that, to then read a book, which is Tower of Dawn, which has nothing to do with the plot line of Empire of Storms, is just cruel to do to yourself. You will be reading Tower of Dawn, but your mind will be elsewhere, thinking about what happened to the other main characters, because Tower of Dawn follow another set of characters in another part of the map. And to top it all off, Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn both happen at the same time. So while this story is happening, this story is also happening. So the best way to read them is to do the tandem read, in which you will read some chapters from Empire of Storms and then some chapters from Tower of Dawn, and then go back and forth until you finish both of them. I will leave the link to the tandem sheet read down below. And then once you finish with these two, you are finally there. And brace yourself, because this is one of the most heart-wrenching, aching read of your life. But it is so worth it. This is one of the best books in the series. This finale is just the bomb. I love this book so much. Okay, once you've done all of that and came out on the other side as a conqueror, congratulations, because now you are ready to pick up Crescent City. And the order here is pretty simple. We have House of Earth and Blood, House of Sky and Breath, and House of Flame and Shadow, in the publication order, of course. And keep in mind, this series is very different from ACOTAR and from Throne of Glass. This is an urban fantasy. We are in the city of Lunathion, on the planet Midgard, where they have modern technology and weaponry. So it is completely different from what you've seen in ACOTAR and Throne of Glass. And I'm going to give you a small warning, a little heads up, if you will. The first chapters in House of Earth and Blood, this is CC1, Crescent City 1, can be a lot in terms of world building. I think she really does have a lot of faith in us, her readers, because the amount of information that Sarah J. Maas will hit you with in the first 70-ish, 60-ish pages of the book is never seen before. And you will find yourself wondering, does she expect me to pull up my notepad and take notes or what? Is this a book or a homework? And this is exactly why I'm telling you about this. I want you to relax, take deep breaths, and just let it happen. You don't need to remember everything, because a lot of the information will get repeated while reading the book, and you will start to wrap your head around it little by little. So don't be alarmed if you feel lost among all these supernatural creatures known to mankind that are all in this series. Yes, she packed in, it was like everything she had on her mind, she put it in here, okay? Everything will make sense eventually, and you will fall in love with these characters, I promise you, because one of the things that she does best is make you care and fall in love with her characters. And yeah, that is how you should read Sarah J. Maas's books, in my opinion. If you have any questions, please leave them down below and I will try to answer every comment as I usually do. And if you made it this far, leave me the sword and the flame emoji. And if you liked the video and found it helpful, please subscribe and join the beautiful community of book besties here. I appreciate your support so much, more than you'll ever know. And yeah, stay tuned for my next video. Bye!